Hey everyone, Adam here. Welcome back to another video. In this one, we got another case study for you guys. You guys love the case studies, so we got another one for you. In this one here, we're going to be going over a case study from a brand that went from 47,300 in February all the way up to 156,000 last month in June, and primarily with Meta and Google ads, and also landing pages that we help them out with, and creative editing, and also scripting for the videos and all that kind of stuff. So basically in this one, what we're going to be covering is going a bit of background on the brand, give you some context there, problems they're facing, and just kind of initial struggles. We're going to go through the process from A to Z on basically how we help them. And then finally, we'll finish off with kind of the final transformation and basically what's next in store for the brand. So we'll get right into it. So if you haven't heard of me before, my name is Adam Matthews. Basically, I run an e-commerce growth agency called AQM, where we basically partner with brands that are ranging anywhere from like 6 figures all the way up to 7 and 8 figures, and really helping them grow and scale, primarily with landing pages, creative editing, and also running ads across numerous channels. But other than that, let's get straight into the video. So first things first, background on the brand. So been around for a few years and primarily sell 2 tech products in the US. So they literally only have 2 SKUs. That's literally it. Their average order value sits around $79.93. This is basically over the last 3 months. And then over the last 3 months, their conversion rate is 4.02%, which is actually really healthy. And something I would talk about a lot is you want to have like strong unit economics in order to scale. And you can see here with a strong average order value and conversion rate, they basically are qualified, and they have like the right unit economics to really scale up. They also have solid margins around 60 to 70%, kind of in that ballpark range. So strong margins as well. I'd say minimum in order to kind of scale and have the right unit economics, I'd say is around $50 of an average order value. If you're less than that, you either have to be in a niche, that an industry that's not really too competitive, or I would say that you'd have a really strong lifetime value. I don't know if you've heard of the brand Mudwater before. They basically kind of sell a subscription product, and their average order value is probably around $40 because literally that's the only thing they really sell. But their lifetime value, how much like people stay and pay over the long term, is really strong. So they can acquire customers for much more than $40 because they know they're going to be worth that much as long as they have enough cash flow to kind of sustain that growth essentially. At conversion rate, I'd say a minimum 2% is kind of like industry average. If you're less than 2%, you're going to need a solid AOV to support that, and also strong margins in order to kind of sustain that lower conversion rate. But yeah, with these two numbers here, very, very strong and healthy to scale with. Now, number 2, in terms of some problems they're facing and initial struggles, basically they had one media buyer running the Meta ads. They weren't running any Google. And basically the problem was they weren't really testing out enough creatives to really help sustain growth and really scale. That was kind of the main issue that they were doing. The second thing is they weren't really creating any landing pages. They were just running the ads and just sending them straight to product pages, which is fine. But it was really helpful when we came in. I'll get that in a second. Is creating a split testing different landing pages, which actually helped lower the cost per acquisition, help raise the return ad spend as well. They also weren't testing out enough audiences to scale with, which is kind of a huge issue as well. They were primarily running broad from where they were at. And that's fine. That was working decently well. And we run that as well too. But when we came in, we were able to test out a bunch of audiences, which really helped us scale, which I'll get into in a second. But because they weren't able to do that, it basically all 3 of these really resulted in the cost per acquisition, rising way too much when they're scaling up. So we're kind of getting a little capped in terms of that. And it was just profitability was really, really going down when they're scaling up. So that was kind of a big issue for this one. Now, number 3, in terms of the process that we took them through to help them out. First things first is we started off with split testing different audiences to find the best performers to stack and scale with. We basically tried, different niche interests. We tried different brands, different stuff like that. And we found quite a few really, really solid audiences. And basically what we did is we stacked them all and we put them in a CBO campaign to really help scale up. And it was way more profitable than just the broad with better ads as well. So that was kind of what we started off with. And then what we did is we created and split tested different landing pages to send the traffic to really help convert them better. And like I was saying, this ended up lowering the cost per acquisition, help raise the return ad spend, so make everything a lot more profitable, essentially. And these are kind of the listicle style landing pages that I've talked about previously on my channel. After that, we basically help them write scripts on a weekly basis to send to creators. And that this helped us really test out new creatives on a weekly and bi-weekly basis. And in terms of the script structure, really what we kind of start off with, we start off with a hook, and then we basically kind of introduce the product, the brand, all that sort of stuff. And then we just pepper them with benefits. We help them with like benefit one, what it's perfect for. And then, the best part is it does X benefit. So we just lay on all the benefits and really just kind of showcase and demo the product really, really well. So by the time they watch this 30, 45-second video, they're like, I'm sold, right? Especially work with good creators as well. Really, really helps. It helps out so much. And that's really what found working really well. Pepper and benefits, and then we kind of close it out, and then basically have a strong call to action at the end. Checkout, brand, blah blah blah, etc. So that was basically kind of the main structure. We wrote out a ton of these, ton of different hooks. We did this for each product with a bunch of different benefits, introductions, different call to actions, just doing a ton of different variations of them, working with a few different creators, and that's been working wonders, and it's been working really, really well. And the last thing I'll mention here as well is that we basically created 2 different CBO campaigns for each of the 2 SKUs to kind of separate them, because inventory would be draining way too fast. It would favor one product over the other, and it would just be draining the inventory way too fast. And they both sell really well, both the products. So we want to be prioritizing, and basically the brand owner had a lot of inventory on one SKU compared to the other. I think it was like 1,000 units compared to like 500. So we were basically running out of the 500 way too quick, essentially. So we need to basically separate them out with 2 different CBOs for each of the SKUs, essentially. And then basically what we do is we'd have a separate creative testing campaign with all those winning audiences that we have stacked together on each ad set. And this allowed us to basically test out all the new creatives every single week, essentially. And what we did as well is we actually put each video in each ad set, so that we basically force spend to each one. That's how we kind of structured it. And we were able to find a lot of winners this way. And then once we find a winner, we basically put it in the correlated CBO campaign, which is now at about $500 a day, and then $450 a day on the other one. So running about $950 a day just on the CBOs, and we're looking to scale those much further, and which is going to get me to the next point here. So in terms of the final transformation and basically what's next and what's on the agenda for them. So last month they closed out at $156,000 in revenue. We're planning on scaling the other brand. So the basically brand owner has 2 brands. The other one is doing about $30K a month. We're going to basically look to scale them to $100,000 per month in the next few months here, with a very similar playbook and structure. It's really just plug and play at this point for what we're going to do with them. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to up the creatives for this brand that we're doing here. And we're going to be testing out 4 to 8 new videos a week to aim to get to revenue, basically doubling it by around Q4, give or take, October, November-ish. We can very well double the revenue. The only bottleneck really for them is really just the creatives. If we're just able to just get way more content and great high quality videos, run them to the landing pages with our audiences that are literally in the tens of millions, we're going to have a ton of runway to scale. Everything else is there. That's literally the only bottleneck. And then end of the year, we should be doing around $500,000 a month between the 2 brands is kind of the goal that we set with this brand owner, and I think we can definitely achieve it. So I'm super excited. I think Q4 it's gonna absolutely crush it. So this $500K a month between the 2 brands might be actually a conservative estimate. So I'm really excited to see what we can do. The only constraint we really have is just the content. So as long as we're able to get weekly new scripts going, weekly new videos coming in, and then we just have a good process for testing them and scaling them, we're going to be in a really good spot. So I'm super excited. Now, last thing I'll mention is that if you're interested in growing your brand to 7 figures or even multi 7 figures, go ahead, schedule a free growth consultation with myself, and we'll sit down and kind of take a look and map out a little growth plan for your brand. So in order to do that, just go ahead and click the link below, and I'll take you straight to this page right below here, and you can go ahead and schedule your time. Other than that, enjoy the free content, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.